Alright, I'm recording. This is dubstep music production video, and yeah, I decided to create my own remix. But yeah, I'm just gonna play the first drop. It's an interesting thing that I've made. I don't know what or how to explain it, but I like it, and it's something that I like to do, is mix interesting sounds and do cool things with basses and try to make it sound as cool as possible. So I'm gonna explain first of all the drums. All right, gonna go just from the top down, so explain things interesting about each part. So of course the drums are layered quite a bit, but they are very basic, so let's just solo them. The kick is just layered twice. That's why I cut out the low frequencies, and if I lay it with this, just has that little bit of noise at the end, at the release. That's quite nice. And here is a snare that I've layered 3. All right, so the first snare is that, just a normal snare. Second one, so these two both layered together. It sounds pretty nice. It's this one's just this one right here. It's kind of just filling out the high end and just making it wide. This one just giving that attack. And here, the last one, that extra punch. So that's pretty much it. Drums, pretty simple here. It's just the thing I would say that is great. It's just gluing them together. Like, if you put a glue compressor on the drums with the kick and snare, then it's pretty good. Some people like to also glue their sub bass together, but I don't do that. All right, so the next part, which is this part. So if I play it with the drums, just this, basically the mid-range bass. So as you can see, I have 2 layers right here. This is the first layer. This is supposed to be, kind of like the hard-hitting mid-range percussive bass. So I've cut out the low frequencies. I've added in my, which I like to call, is just beefing up the bass like crazy. So without this is what it sounds like. And this just doesn't sound very powerful at all. Once I add in, just makes it sound really cool, doesn't it? So what I've added is a EQ compressor, basically OTT. What I also like to add is a vocoder. This tends to make the sound quite crunchy to me. I don't know, just it compacts it quite nicely with vocoder and just makes it sound rich. And then of course utility and overdrive, just to beefen up a little bit more. So then you get this. And if I lay it with this is just to add extra artifacts to the bass, just make it sound a bit nice, a bit more impactful. The third layer, which I'm just going to move this up here. I don't name any of my tracks, by the way, because I'm just lazy. Or yeah. So this is just building the high end of the song, making it a bit wider. When I first made this, I just plopped in this sample here, which, by the way, this is just a normal percussive sample I found on Splice. That's the original sample, basically. I think that sounds cool until I turn on mono. So if I mix in mono, right, all of a sudden this sound is like, you can barely hear it. So basically I turn on this, basically turn every effect on, and I mix in mono. It sounds good in mono. So if it sounds good in mono, turn it off, hear it. Sounds amazing, right? Okay, it took way too long. Way too long trying to explain that. Alright. So, the next part is just sub bass. Pretty basic. It's not actually that basic, but let me explain. First thing first, it's just a sine wave in serum with a little bit of distortion. That's the initial sound I had. Without any of these effects, which is just basically an EQ. Okay, let's turn off the main effects. Just sounds like a normal sub bass that's slightly distorted. So what I've added is M wave, right, which is a noise generator. Instantly makes it sound way more louder, and it basically adds this crunch to the sub bass, which is really nice. And yeah, I recommend if you want to make your sub basses sound nice, just add a bit of white noise to the sub bass. It makes it sound nice. I've also added in another one just to give it a bit more texture. So about it, with it, sounds pretty nice. That's basically all I did there, and I added in this chorus because I wanted to make it sound louder, but not actually make it louder. So just this is supposed to make it sound like it's more. It's not really doing much. Sometimes it can cause some phasing issues if you turn it up too much. The thing I would say is, if you're going to make heavy dubstep, make sure you put some noise on your bass. Make sure you glue them together, and that should be the main sound that's driving the flow of your drop, basically. I've got some extra background artifacts and sounds playing just to fill the space. A drone, classic respace here. So this is just a basic tear out machine gun sound. I'm not going to dive into this sound in particular because there's so many tutorials out there how to make this sound, or how to make a sound like this. So I'm not going to dive too much into that, but it's pretty basic. It's just a machine gun. I'm going to explain the second part here. Just push it up an octave. Just has that. When I made it, I pushed up an octave and it had that squelchy sound. Plus I added these little clicks, and then I decided, why not add a little bit of water to this bass as well. So then together, just the extra squelchy sounds. This is another bass that I'm kind of working on. It's basically the same bass I did before, but I've just made it a lot faster. I'm just going to duplicate it and see how this sounds. Dang it. It just sounds really weird, but interesting at the same time. So yeah. It's basically a song. I kind of wonder how it would sound if... That's not Skrillex's song. What the heck? Just to make it look like he was playing my song, but it wasn't. So yeah. Put my song there where his song was originally being played. It just somehow, it kind of matched, and I like the vibe. It's pretty cool.